to HDP Exam Learning Resources. In this session, we create a virtual server instance known as EC2 instance, Elastic Cloud version 2 instance on Amazon, and we'll connect using the SSH. We already created the private key and we'll use this private key to connect to the Amazon EC2 instance which we created. So let's start how to create this EC2 instances. Okay, so now first let's understand the very basic concepts which you needed to before moving into this, and you should remember all the concepts, because if you are preparing for certification, remembering the concepts is very important. Okay, so like here we have virtual servers, hypervisor, guest, host, was exactly it is. So we will be having one physical machine, correct? So you have your computer, this is very physical machine. Similarly, in the rack of the data centers, you would have one physical servers, that is bare metal servers, that is hardware, physical hardware. On this you would be installing an hypervisor. This is one software, this is operating system, you can say, for the guest machines. Okay, like hypervisor is a one operating system which communicate or schedule the request from guest machine. These are the guest machines, this is the host machine, and this is the operating system in between which schedules the request from this different virtual servers. Okay, so we have, like in this scenario, we have 3 virtual servers over 2 Linux instances, 1 Windows instances, so which can be on the same hypervisor. We have like this hypervisor in between, and this 3 virtual server we have created. So similarly, in one physical server can host many virtual servers. Okay, and we can install a different operating system on this virtual machines. Okay, so and each virtual machine is this, like suppose this your physical machine has a 12 GB RAM. Let's assume it, I am just giving a 12 GB RAM, and I wanted to create 3 virtual machines with each with 4 GB RAM. Okay, so I can create 3 virtual instances on this physical server, 3 guests, which each assigning a 4 GB RAM, and assume similarly like 16 CPU machine this is. So for 12 CPU machine each guest OS would be assigned 4 CPU. So here 3 machines, 3 guest OS, each would be having 4 GB RAM and 4 CPU assigned. It cannot get 5 CPU or something. It even maximum limit of this guest OS is to get the 4 CPU kind of thing. A physical server will have multiple virtual servers. A single virtual server will be isolated from another virtual servers by software. So this is these two even being on the same same physical server, they cannot talk to each other until and unless you use some networking to connect to each other or some socket programming to connect to each other. Otherwise they cannot communicate with each other. Okay, they are isolated. That's okay. Virtual server or an EC2 instance is we generally refer as an EC2 instance. Okay, virtual server will have its own CPU, memory, network interface, storage, etc. As we have discussed, in virtual server you will deploy web servers like Apache Tomcat, Apache web servers. In web server we will be deploying our web application like hdpexam.com. So and launching first 2 EC2 instances, follow the instruction as given in the training session. So we'll be discussing this session how to create it. Okay, so before moving it, like let's understand one concept, virtual appliance. Okay, so this is the right time. Okay, so this is the right time to talk about this virtual appliance. Okay, first go to this training instruction. Let's skip this part, I'll come back here. Okay, now let's go to the AWS console. Here I have EC2 console. Let's go to the home button. I'll just click on home button and we are on the EC2 console. Now click on the EC2 service. Okay, what is next in the PDF? Click on the EC2 service, launch instance. Okay, launch instance, click on this and we will be creating the one EC2 instances. Now here you can see choose an Amazon machine image. So that is what here, this Amazon machine image is an one virtual appliance, you can imagine. Okay, and AMI is a template that contains a software configuration. This AMI contains operating system, application server, and applications which require pre-configured applications required to launch your instances. If you have one without operating system, what would you do with your virtual server, correct? You need one operating system to work upon. So AMI already contains one operating system, either Linux or Windows, etc., or in the Linux different version. Even Amazon itself have created its own Linux version. Here you can see this is the Amazon Linux, we can say. Okay, so this all softwares which are needed, you can select the AMI provided by AWS or user community of the AWS marketplace. So these are the various places. From this you can select the AMIs. Okay, so this AMI is like a quick start. These are the various AMIs which is available, which is generally people use it, or something you can directly buy it from the marketplace. So various vendor creates the AMI and they sell it, because they have pre-installed software on this, like Mark Logic. This is a file server already installed on this the servers you are going. Similarly, there is another vendor. So this is like so many vendors who are selling their product. TIPCO is selling their own product. Okay, and so you can just buy their AMI and use it. So that is the best way. Like if you want pre-installed software on the AMI, you can buy it and use it. But in our purpose, we'll use the free community AMIs. Like some is the open source community. Similarly there is a community which gives you the AMI, which you can use it for your purposes. So this is the free AMI. Okay. Even you can filter it like what you want it from, like which operating system you want: Windows, Ubuntu, so Linux, Red Hat. So the various operating systems are available and you can choose your own. You need 32-bit or 64-bit. Your root device should be instance store or EBS. We will discuss about this later. Okay, so now this is community. You can purchase it from here. And my AMIs, if you do already have some AMIs created or in your list, then you can would be listed here. So let's go to the quick start AMI and select the AMI which we will be using. Here is Ubuntu free tier eligible. Let's look, we will be using free tier. Okay, so always select the AMI based on your requirement. Here we are using free tier AMI. If you choose wrong one, it would be charged. Okay, so be careful whether you are using just for your practice purpose or for your organization. Based on this, you select it. So we are here just in the training session, so we will be using the free tier Ubuntu. Okay, so just select it. This is 64-bit. Okay, Ubuntu server 1604 LTS. HVM is like latest version of the AMI is available. EBS general purpose SSD. You will get a SSD volume, like it will be fast enough. Okay, so select it and you can see the detail about this. Okay, even various instance type is available. We have selected one AMI, but now this is AMI is a virtual appliance and this is the instance which is virtual server we are going to create it. Okay, so let me tell you what I mean here is now. Okay, so this is my virtual server instance in the cloud. I would be installing AMI on this, correct? But what type of virtual instance I want to create, how much memory I wanted to give, how much CPU I wanted to give. So there are various different type of instances is available in Amazon. So this is EC2 instance. We'll be creating the micro instance. There are various is available for starting from nano instances. So based on the type, will be having the CPU capacity and the storage capacity and RAM, etc. So here it's we will be again choosing for the free tier eligible server. Okay, so this is T2 micro is a free tier available, and here this is other instances which is large instances, T2 large something, correct. So we'll be selecting a one free tier eligible. We will be having only one CPU for this. Okay, we'll be having 1 GB RAM. We don't need anything right now because we are not going to do any operation, so we are okay with the 1 GB RAM. Instance storage. Okay, I'll tell you what exactly that is. Here you can see like detail about this. The local instance store volume that are available to the instance. The data in instance store is not permanent. It persists only during the lifetime of the machine. Okay, so suppose you have created and this some data attached, some data is attached to this. So that is known as instance store. It's a instance store. Important point. That would be definitely asked in the certification exam. Instance store means if your machine is up, and whatever data you save in this would be available, and if you stop this server, okay, and the whatever data you have stored will also go and will not be available. So this is the instance store, and the type of instance store could be anything, okay. So like we will be using EBS, so but there could be different instance store would be available as well. So we would be having EBS as an instance store for this, and EBS optimized. You don't understand what is EBS right now, don't worry about this. So this is elastic block storage, like it's similar to network attached storage something we'll be using. Okay, so leave this topic right now. What is EBS? I will discuss about this. Okay, then we'll move ahead. And if these servers are not optimized for the EBS activity, EBS will give you, if you are optimized, you will get higher input output rates or something. You can provision accordingly. And the network performance is low to moderate. We don't need this thing as of now. We are just doing practice. So we'll select this general purpose T2 micro instances. T2, T is the type of instances, 2 is the version, micro is the size of the instances. Okay, so we have different type T2, 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 and we have M4 instances, M3 instances. We'll be having dedicated topic about this instances type, okay, because this is again part of your certification exam. So you need to understand what exactly that each instance type means. Okay, so we'll be using the free tier eligible instance here. Now let's review and launch. No, I'll go to the next configuration, is configure instance detail. Okay, so we would be configuring, okay, just go to the previous, read here, just I would tell you it. So it's very important, if you, because I would say Amazon exam really tests whether you have hands-on or not. So if you have gone through each step, you would definitely clear the exam by understanding the, and so I would suggest you read it, understand the concept, which is very important. Amazon EC2 provides a wide selection of instance types optimized to fit different use cases. Okay, based on your use case you have to select instance. So you will definitely have a question in your certification exam. Even all the certification exam would have this kind of questions, like you would be given one scenario and you have to select the proper instance type. Which would you select for this? That would the question you would be asked. Okay, so instances are virtual servers that can run applications. They have varying combination of CPU, memory, storage, networking capacity, and given you the flexibility to choose the appropriate mix of resources for your application. So you can just click here and read it more about the instances types when you have time. Okay, so even we will be covering this, but entire thing to AWS is very huge topic. Okay, so we will be try to cover as much as possible. Okay, and okay, so now let's move here and configure the instance that suit your requirements. We need only one instance right now. You can increase the number of instances. You could launch 2 instances, 3 instances, as many number. Just give the number, it would be okay. Purchasing option, request spot instances. Spot instances are different type of instances, which it's a bidding kind of thing. If you if it is available, if you bid it, okay, and it's a bidding, and the price, like suppose already when somebody has requested 100 spot instances, $1 per hour something, and now you need one instance but it is not available. So what you have to do, this you have to give more price, $1.1 something. So it would be automatically given to you one instance out of 100 instances, and that the person who bid it with $1 would be given only 199 instances, and you will give the, you will get the one instances out of this. But here we need on demand instances, we don't want spot instances right now. Okay, so leave it right now. Network, so this is VPC, create a new VPC, virtual private cloud, subnet, auto assign IP. Okay, IAM role, nothing, we are not changing anything. Okay, if you want it, you just read this information. Okay, that is very important. Again, like there are various tenancies option is available. Like even you have gone through, if you know, if you want to get a hosting from thing, like to host your website like hadoopexam.com or quicktechie.com, they will tell you you are getting a shared hosting or dedicated hosting or something. So this kind of various hosting. So similarly, you want your dedicated instance, virtual instance, and it should not be shared, the physical host could not be shared with the other people. So you can use one type of tenancy here. So like shared means like physical host will create multiple virtual machine and would be shared. This each virtual machine would be shared with the each individual virtual machine would be a different person can own it or can rent it. Okay, dedicated run a dedicated instance, you would have a dedicated instance. Dedicated host, that is like physical instance, is completely given to you. So based on this the charge would also apply. Okay, you can monitor here, you just apply this. We are not doing anything right now. Shutdown behavior, just stop the instance is something you just read about this. Okay, specify the instance behavior when OS level shutdown is performed. Instance can be either terminated or stopped. Okay, so let's move here, and next is add storage. Now we have previously created instance storage. Now we want to something like hard drive. Correct, if my machine is shut down, I don't want to lose the data, I need hard drive as well from my machine. So we do have instance store, we do have a network attached to, we are attaching like one kind of hard drive or something. Okay, so we are using general purpose SSD, 8 GB storage we wanted, and IOPS like input output, how much we need it. Okay, so that would be we are getting, and throughput or something, delete on termination. This is very important, don't forget to check this box. If you delete your instance or terminate your instance, not delete or terminate your instance, this, if not checked, this 8 GB volume would be remain as it is, because it is network attached, it is not part of your instance storage, this is separately of your box. Okay, so let me draw here diagram so it would be more clear to you. So this is the like EBS, it's a like network attached in storage or some volume. Okay, and this is your virtual machine. Okay, in the cloud. So if you say give me 8 GB storage, so it will give you like this is 100 GB EBS volume. So out of this it will give you this 8 GB storage here. This 8 GB storage will be given to you. And if you terminate this instance and this instance is no more available but storage still remain, so you are providing here the behavior like if I terminate my instance, delete this storage as well. If you don't delete it, it will remain, and it may go up to it would be chargeable basis. Okay, so up to free tier eligible get 30 GB EBS storage, general purpose SSD or magnetic storage, both either of one you can get it. So we are using the SSD here. Okay, even you can select the magnetic as well, and this storage is not encrypted. Okay, so now let's tag the instances. Tag is the just to give the name of your instances. I'll give the Hadoop exam. Sorry, Hadoop exam. So okay, now next, configure security group. Okay, now security group is similar to the firewall. Like somebody wanted to connect connect to your server. Okay, this is virtual server, and somebody from outside like you itself want to connect this. So there has to be some firewall rule in the AWS. Okay, before you go connect your connection, go to this. Okay, so what is the firewall rule? That is known as security group. You allow, you give the permissions like what can be allowed. Okay, there is no denial configuration on the security group. It's only allowable. You can allow configuration, but you cannot have deny or something. Correct, you see here. So this is again exam questions, like security group can have a denial or something kind of thing. It says exam, in exam you'll get it. Can you configure like denial rule in the security group? Obviously not. We can just whether it is allowed or not. So here we have by default one rule, SSH using TCP protocol on port number 22, source is anywhere from any IP 000/0 means any IP. Again remember this 0000 means this is any IP using port 22 can connect to the this box, this virtual machine. Okay, so this is default. You can add new rule if you want it, like something HTTP from port 80 it can be connected as kind of thing, but let's remove this right now, we don't want it. Okay, let's keep it review and launch. Now move here, and here you will see one warning because we are saying anybody can connect from our SSH using SSH from to this box. So that is fine, we want it, okay, because from my machine I want to connect it. I don't have a specific IP, so I just want to. The instance type is T2 micro, 1 CPU, 1 GB RAM. Instance storage is EBS type instance storage only. Okay, and this is the security group where SSH is allowed from any IP. Instance details about this, all instance detail will not go through in this. Storage, we have assigned separate 8 GB storage like kind of hard drive to this box, and this is the device for this. Okay, this is the, you can read about this here, and the tags which give the name, and launch it. And now the important thing here, when you start launching, you have to select which key you would be using to connect this box. I have created 3 keys, but it won't allow me to use all 3 keys to connect. So what I'll do, I have to select one key. So suppose I'll select one key which we have recently created, Hadoop exam 2, and you have to acknowledge I have access to selected private key file Hadoop exam.pem files, correct? We have downloaded, so we have it, so we are acknowledging. If we miss this step, then we have to change this configuration, okay, and launch the instances. Now it will take some time to get launched. Let's move to our PDF, what it says. So we are done with the remain quick tab. These are all things we have been discussing. Okay, so I have given the screenshot. If you want to follow without training, so you can use it. So this, like I have taken first Hadoop exam 1 is you'll see below screen once the instance is launched. So this is the instances detailed about the launched instances. So now let's go here and see whether our instance is launched. Okay, so instances are now launching, it's not yet launched. Okay, so view instances. Okay, we'll click on view instances, still running, and start, and it is initializing, still not yet started. Okay, so now we let's wait and move to the PDF again. Okay, and get the public IP address of the instances. Now before moving this, like we need to connect this, so let's wait the instances to be coming up, and let's keep refreshing here, still initializing. Okay, so let's wait to get it initialized. So now before that, let's review these things. This is the description, and this is the public IP address for these instances. Public IP address means using this public IP address you will be connecting this EC2 instances. Now if you shut down your machine and restart it, this public IP address would change. Remember, this is again important point, okay, for the exam perspective. If you restart your machine, this public IP would change. Okay, so if you need fixed IP address, you have to use elastic IP address. Okay, that is on charge basis. So right now this is the elastic IP, no value here, correct? So we'll be discussing when we will specifically focus on elastic IPs. So now this is public IP we'll be using until this instance is up, we can use it. Okay, so still initializing. Okay, so let's move here, and we have skipped one topic, that is the virtual appliance, which I wanted to cover here. So what is virtual appliance? Amazon Machine Image is a virtual appliance. It is an image containing OS and some pre-configured software. Appliance can run on a virtual machine, on a hypervisor. Like you could have if you have used VMware or something, Oracle virtual machine or something, so you would already have used virtual appliances. Okay, so these are the already images, like in VMware you generally say virtual machine, correct? That is one virtual appliance kind of thing which have pre-configured your OS. If you have take a Cloudera Hadoop training or something, you have downloaded some images from the Cloudera site and you have installed that Hadoop instances, that virtual image on the virtual VMware, correct? In hadoopexam.com, if you go, we have one training, okay, where you can see this all the details, like similar things. So this is the virtual, what I mean here, the virtual appliance is the one image you will be installing on the one virtual server. Hypervisor can run more than one appliance. Okay, we have already seen virtual appliance means one AMI. AMI is Amazon specific image, okay, special type of virtual appliance for use with the EC2 service. Okay, this will work with the EC2 service only. An AMI consists of a read-only file system with OS and additional software and some pre-configuration. It does not include the kernel in the operating system. The kernel is loaded from the Amazon kernel's image. Okay, so this kernel is not all included in this image. Same AMI is used to deploy software on AWS. Same AMI you can use on a multiple. So also open source hypervisor used by the Amazon, that is known as Xen, XEN. This is instance type. Okay, this is the CPU, memory, bandwidth, and storage. This shows the size of the instance: large instance, small instance, micro instance, or something. Different type of instances: T2, R3, AMC, C type instances for CPU specific. We'll discuss about this later. As we have used T2 micro instances, so this is the family of the instance. T means what family it belongs to. Generation 2. Okay, previous T1 instances was available, previous generation instances. Micro instances, size of the instance. So this kind of instance family keep changing. Okay, so you keep visiting Hadoop exam, Amazon for this your requirement, and it's keep changing. You can accordingly use it. As big instance you will use this, charge are also accordingly. Example of the instance type is T2 micro, M3 large, R3 large. So this is T2 micro is cheapest, and this is more costlier instances. More memory it will provide you. It will provide you medium memory, good for databases, etc. We will have separate session for this instance types in detail. Okay, so this part we have skipped, so I'll come back. Okay, so now let's go to our AWS console and see what happens to our data. Our instance running. To all the status are okay. This is public IP addresses we will be using to connecting this. So even you can click on this connect and it will tell you how to connect. So you can use this DNS as the information as well to get connected to your EC2 instance. Okay, if you are using Linux, you can just do the SSH-I, provide your hadoopexam.pem file in the path. Okay, we are not going to create the private key when we are using the Linux or software or something. So that's for Windows. We have created the ppk file, and then the Ubuntu is the username, and that's command will directly connect you to the your EC2 instances. Previously this information here IP addresses was coming, but you can use the public IP as well as this DNS information. Okay, so now let's go to the our putty and try to connect. Okay, so in the PDF what it says, open the putty. Okay, so let's go to the file browser. Okay, and click on the putty and start the putty.exe. Okay, so this is in the zip file. Okay, you need to extract this zip file and then you start it. Now we have to go to the SSH and select the authentication, and we have to select the private key here and select the hadoopexam.2.ppk file which we have created. That's all. And again go back to the session and put here your IP address or DNS information. So I'll use the public IP address first. Let's see it works or not. Okay, so 54.201.193.203. I'll be using this and putting here, and we are using SSH here. Make sure we are using port 22. That's all, and we have already provided the location of the private key. Okay, that is okay. Okay, and now open the session. So it should have opened. Yeah, you should see the host key is not cached or something. Some caching would be done. So just, and what is the username? Here is the Ubuntu is the username, so you might not see here or something. So just go to connect and take this the name of the user Ubuntu and just press enter. So it should not ask the password. Okay, so we have logged into this virtual machine, and you just type command who am I. So this is Ubuntu, you are the user. What is the host name? This is the host name. Okay, what is the host information? This is the host information. This command is not available or something. We have to give more information. Command is available, but we have to push the argument. date command, what it says based on the look, it's giving the time in the UTC time zone. So everything you have created, it is using the UTC time zone. And any other command you want to use it, you can use it, or something, or tar command is available or not. Tar, you must specify one of the, okay, tar command is available. Gunzip is available, Gzip is available. So we'll be installing some another software which is not available on this box. So in the next session we will install one software using SSH. So let's move here and come out of this session. That is fine. Close this terminal, and again now we will be using this DNS information. Okay, we'll also use this information to connect to this instance. Okay, so again open the putty, give the SSH authentication private key exam2.ppk, and give this, say, go to session, select this and put here, and then open it. And I hope it should same thing, yes, and just give the Ubuntu as a username. Okay, and we are connected. Okay, so ipconfig. Okay, so no command ipconfig is found here. Okay, if config, no, that is not, sorry, yeah. So the if config is working here. So this is Ethernet address or something, inet address, and etc. So this all networking related information will be printed here in the Ethernet 0. So that's all about the sessions we have created it. Oh, okay, so before ending, I would suggest you to terminate the sessions. If you are moving to the next session, and don't terminate it and use the same server. But here I am telling you how to terminate the session. So just select this again, action, and instance state, stop it, reboot it, or terminate it. I'll just reboot it. Okay, what happens to this IP address? What are we getting the same IP address what we are saying? So we have 54.201.193.203. Okay, I've just copied it, and instance, let's reboot this instance. Okay, yes, reboot it. I want to reboot it. Okay, and see what happens to this instances. It's not reboot, it's still running. So let's stop it and then start it. Let's stop. It is not, it stopped. Go to the EC2 dashboard, and come to here, running instances. There are no running instances, load security groups, 4 security groups, 1 volumes, dedicated instances, no running instances. So let's click here. Okay, now still stopping. So let me pause the video for a few minutes until it gets stopped. So now here you can see this instances in stop status. So no public DNS information is available, no public IP is available. Okay, so this has been now not visible. Now let's start this instance again. Action, instance state, start. Yes, start it, and once, let's wait it to get the instance started, and I'll again pause few minutes. Okay, now information is available. Okay, you can see public IP has changed. Previously we had a public IP information which is okay, I cannot paste here. Okay, so I'll paste on the notepad. This was my previous IP address and what is now. So let's compare it. Here you can see 54, 149, 243, 181, and previously it was 54, 201, 193. So remember, for the certification perspective as well, like whenever you restart your instances, your public IP address changes, but not elastic IP would change. Okay, you can attach one elastic IP, so you would get a question based on both of this. So remember, this is very important point. So thanks, and thank you for watching, and this is all about on the sessions. We will be having some next session. In this we will be installing some software on the EC2 instance. Okay, so now before ending the session, just terminate the session, let it get started, and then we will terminate the session. Okay, just wait again. Okay, because termination is very important here. If you are just directly going from here to the next session, so don't terminate it. Just how to terminate it, just select it and instance state and terminate here, just and yes, terminate. Okay, so this instance will be shutting down and then terminated. So once you terminate this instance, your volume, whatever you have attached to this instance, would also be deleted. Okay, so let's go to the EC2 dashboard. We have one volume here, so okay, that's volume in use right now, but that should be deleted. If that remains, then you would be getting charged on your credit card, so be careful on this side. Okay, and you would be you must delete this before so we have terminated, so volume is 0 now. It is saying okay, automatically deleted, no running instances, no security group, so there is no charge using the security group. Okay, and EC2 dashboard and key pairs, the key pairs will be using this key pairs in our next future sessions. So thanks for watching, and I hope you like this session. If you're watching this session on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe it, and don't forget to subscribe on LinkedIn. Just search for the hadoopexam.com on LinkedIn. You will get our networking site, and you just don't forget to subscribe here. Just click here, go to Hadoop Exam, click subscribe, and you'll be here. Okay, on this put your email ID and name here, and we will give you the update as soon as we will upload new modules. So thanks for watching. I hope we will have soon new session.